Welcome to Rated Radio Plus. I'm your host, Shane Wyndham. This is Disturbed versus King 810. Let's dig in. I'm going to start here with King 810. The album that I rolled at random was AK Concerto number 47, 11th movement in G major. Out of the 11 tracks, I thought 4 were great. My bottom track was Dukes. My top track was Love Bomb, and the music makes me feel like I'm a sociopath who survived societal collapse. Whereas I'm used to King 810 hitting like some wonderfully bastardized version of Korn with Coal Chamber or maybe Orgy tinges, the AK Concerto disc comes out swinging with a style reminiscent of Disturbed, Dope, and Static X's early work. There are even some ICP-esque moments to be had here. Think the lost portion of that group's Marvelous Missing Link effort, or anytime Violent J gives some impressively insane vocal performance. On one hand, some of the lyrical shtick has somewhat worn out its welcome at this point in their discography. On the other hand, David Gunn's doing his damnedest to iterate on the group's sound, as well as kick out some unique lyrical presence. This does backfire in spots as well though, particularly in tracks such as Dukes and House of Dust, where the reach for hillbilly-like drawl is outright off-putting. I'm happy to have more from this indescribably dark and lyrically brutal industrial meets nu metal outfit, even if the resulting collection of songs ends up being all over the map. What deserves clarified, though, is that I don't hate any of it, and think this will have greater appeal to those who dig bleak insanity more than I tend to. But this hits more like a spin one goes into mining for that greatest hits gold than it does like one that's going to be remembered in its totality for years to come. Still, if you've liked any King 810 song in the past, this effort is sure to have something new for you to enjoy. Let's take a break. The TikTok Billboard hit I listened to this time around was a song called We Fell in Love in October by Girl in Red. If you're into the genuinely distant sounds of the 80s new wave scene or the dreamlike drift of early 2000s indie singer-songwriter stuff, then this will likely appeal to your sensibilities. I've been turned on to a lot of music like this via TikTok, only I'm used to a bit less repetition from those other tracks I've encountered. There's no bridge here either. I'm consistently bothered by the confusion of tense from verse to chorus. We go from talking in the past tense during the verses, only to switch to present tense with an eye on future tense during the choruses. And I'm not the biggest fan of how the drum and bass chase each other melodically while the guitar and vocals do so as well. All that negative out of the way though, I still get some pleasure out of this listen and think it could easily have been great with just a bit more time and effort. 6 out of 10 stars from me. Now let's go talk about Disturbed. The randomized album I got from Disturbed was Evolution from 2018. Out of the 10 tracks, I thought 3 were great. My bottom track was Hold On to Memories. My top track was In Another Time. And the music makes me feel like I'm successfully discovering music which was secretly made by AI. Wow. Hello. Nice to meet you, fellow human. Allow me to share some of my prior experience with the Disturbed band group prior to this current place in time. Whew. I was a teen when their first handful of industrial metal hits landed with their infectious quirk, and I still find those tracks moderately enjoyable, even if they never were personal favorites. Then there were whole spins of albums like Indestructible, which left me feeling vast amounts of kick-ass awe, and the cover of Simon & Garfunkel's The Sound of Silence, which gives me the right kind of chills 90% of the time when I hear it, and feeling oddly off-put the other 10%. I mention all of this listener history so that you might understand my perspective when I say that the majority of the Evolution disc did not punch me in the feels. It really does hit like something made in a laboratory. The emo industrial hard rock equivalent of the worst that people project onto pop vocal groups. The lyrics are often too repetitious and hit with weak, samey rhyme schemes. The vocals are, more often than not, the strongest nail in the coffin though. Now knowing that the group who blew up via odd voice tricks could also make crunchy rock jam bombs, as well as slow building and brooding emotional sweeps, leaves a lot of the delivery here landing as inarguable disappointment in my ears. And there are a few pros to consider which only add insult to all the injury I'm yammering at length about. Many tracks try to be meaningfully deep with anti-war messages, thought shots at politicians, how we mistreat the planet, etc. The instrumentation is further putting in tons of work throughout, with solos, bridges, stylistic variety, and so much more. That's why, even when a given track bored me or felt too plastic, I still couldn't rate anything under a 4, which means the song had its moments on my scale. The sound is disturbed, but with somehow unwelcome moments that smack of influences like Him or Breaking Benjamin. There are a few solid songs here, and I respect that the group is aiming for, no pun actually intended, evolution, but I did not enjoy most of this listen. Something which I think lands squarely at the feet of the lead singer and the words he's singing. And that's wild, since their lead is what comes to mind when you mention this outfit to most people. Props to the musicians, and praise to the attempts at progressive argumentation, but too much of this feels like it was created by an algorithm. Please like or subscribe if you're still listening, and remember you can send all kinds of feedback to rated_radio@yahoo.com. As far as the winner goes, I really do like the great tracks I got out of Disturbed this go around, but King 810 did more than land some punches. They bloodied the ring too at times, and offered up a performance that's much more consistent. Now, could I see certain Disturbed albums taking King 810 to task? That, dear listeners, is a question for another day. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. Catch the main show every Friday at 9 a.m., and I'll be back with more Rated Radio Plus in 2 weeks. Plenty of time to fill your world with music.